Hello there, vlog. Welcome to the DailyG number 11. And before I go on with the next step on the journey, which is gonna be the trip through Portugal, I would like to ask you a question, which is what kind of challenge, 30-day challenge, would you like to see me do in the new year? I'm pondering to start a 30-day challenge, something I do every day. You know, it could be a run, it could be push-ups, it could be a new diet thing, or whatever. So if you have an idea, it could also be learning a new skill. I've thought a lot about, diving into a new skill for 30 days or something, period of time, and see what comes out of it, So if you have any ideas or anything you just think would be fun to see me do, let me know in the comments. And of course, always subscribe so you can see the new videos, new content. So the next step on the journey was that I finished the working relationship with the speaker I have talked about, that I worked with in Guatemala, south of Alicante, in going into the summer of 2015, and I really wanted to walk another Camino, so I decided to walk a different one. I wanted to go walk the Portuguese Camino from Lisbon and also up to the same destination, Santiago, and the coast. And I suspected it would be quite different, and also I started to walk in July, so I walked throughout July, and yeah, that was very hot, very warm, so I really had to be careful some days. But the first day, and basically the first 2 weeks, and the whole trip itself was really different because there was not many people. Walking the Portuguese Camino compared to the traditional Camino in Spain, simply because the other one is more well known and more historical well known. But the Portuguese is very interesting because there's a lot of history that you might not know about in terms of the Camino, or the story of pilgrimage and so on. So that meant the first 2 weeks, pretty much, I walked about 30 kilometers every day. There was not many albergues, pilgrim hostels, so you really had to pick and head towards the places that you wanted to go, and usually that was either 20 to 30, around that, kilometers away. So that was very tough. And in the first day I started from Lisbon, and it was such a beautiful moment because I went to the cathedral in Lisbon to get my Camino passport, and I saw the yellow arrow, I saw the shell that symbolizes the Camino, one that I wear around my neck actually. And let's go this way. And I knew I was home. I look forward to this journey, another Camino. You never know what will happen, you never know who you'll meet. So I started walking that day, and actually that was probably one of the tougher days. I walked about 40 kilometers that day, due to that I walked the wrong direction for, I think it must have been 3 to 4 kilometers or something. And then I had to walk all the way back, so I doubled that. And then, so at least it was way longer than I wanted to. So the first day, and also pretty much the first 2 weeks, was really tough because you really had to walk far. And the first 2 weeks took you to Porto. And when I walked into Porto, which was actually, I had to have to go a bit back. I wanted to go to Tomar, which is going in the east way, going up towards Porto. but for some reason I took the left where I should have gone right. So I went towards Fatima. Fatima is sort of a religious, kind of like Rome in Italy, but like a religious city in Portugal. And so I found out that I was walking that way. Unfortunately, I was accompanied by another pilgrim, a girl from, I think she was from Austria or something, Germany, and we went to Fatima kind of together, not really following each other, but then from there I walked way east to Tomar, which is a really quaint little town in Portugal, where the Knights Templars, a really well-maintained castle is there, and it's just a beautiful and awesome spot. I really enjoyed being there, and I took a day off, which was the first day off on that Camino, and was really needed. So that was awesome. And then from there I walked up to Porto. And Porto is probably my favorite city in the world. I'm not really fond of cities. I really prefer nature and quiet stuff, quiet environment, like nature and so on. But Porto was really different. It was very authentic, very like old times. I mean, there was not, usually you see in cities there's very concrete jungle full of advertising and so on, and actually it was very different there. I really didn't feel that it was commercialized. It was very like you would think it was back in the day. Of course it was newer maybe some places, but it was very authentic, and I really loved it there. I had another day off and do the first 2 weeks. I only met like, all in all, I think I met like 20-30 people. It's not many. Where like on the Camino in Spain, that was 20 was like what you saw in the first mile, you know, or something. So, but I there was a little group of people from a couple from Germany, some few from Germany, one from Argentina who lived in California, and hung around those two in Porto, met up with them. So that was fun. And then from Porto I walked up to Santiago, where I met Peterson, which was a really fun and great character he was originally from Brazil but lives in New Zealand, and he walked with a girl from Spain, which was really interesting because he was a visa immigrant officer in New Zealand, and basically he could help me get a working holiday visa, even though it's pretty easy to do. But it was, I've been thinking about going to New Zealand for the last period of time I was in Guatemala, and it was like a sign that maybe I had to go to New Zealand. You know, I had to go visit him after this trip. We became really close, walked really nice pace together, and walked all the way together to Santiago, where we split up again. I wanted to go to the coast, and he was going to go back to Portugal, I think, for a bit of time. And all in all, the trip in Portugal was really different. It was just really different. Longer days, less people. As you got closer to Santiago, there was more people, of course. A lot of people started in Porto, so that was the difference. And all in all, a really great trip. Different but great. And I stayed in Santiago for another day, and started to walk in the morning where Peterson left, and walked out to the coast. And this time I wanted to walk. My plan was actually to walk all the way out in that little circle. You could walk around and then come back. So my goal was to finish in Finesterra, and then from there go back. And what I did last year was go into Muxia. So I wanted to go the other way this time, where I would go to Muxia and then go to the Finesterra as the last stage before I went back. I met on that trip I met a girl from Belgium, I think she was from, or Bulgaria, and we connected really well, and it seemed like every time you meet people on this kind of a journey and trip, it's always for a reason. You know, she had some stuff happening with a guy, and I guess I was sort of a soundboard to her for the time we walked together that day, one of the days, and that helped her in terms of a decision and continuing on her way. And yeah, just funny how you meet people and how trips are formed when you don't know or expect anything. I continued to Murcia, had a day there, had a haircut, and then I went to Finesterra. Murcia is kind of an odd place where I've never really connected with that place yet. The 2 times I've been there has been gray, it's been rainy, and that was the same when I was there this time. But walking to Finesterra was probably one of the best walking days I've had in my life. The weather was perfect, and I was just happy. The colors were there, and I really look forward to go to Finesterra. Finesterra is a really, really special place for pilgrims, and just a few kilometers before, I met 2 pilgrims who had been walking the Camino for many years, I think, and they were starting a hostel close to Finesterra. Maybe a bit too close, I thought. But I'll try and link to the image of those 2. It's really one of my favorite pictures. So 2 people, one of them could a little bit of English, and we just connected really well. I speak a little Spanish, so I could speak some with them, but just really fun. And going into Finesterra, seeing the water, the colors, and so on was awesome. And I was supposed to find a hostel, but I wanted to go all the way out to the lighthouse, out at the very end of the 0.0 kilometer rock. So I went all the way out there and got some pictures taken, and the day was just perfect. And that's where I'm just in love with the Camino. I love the long walks. And when you're out there, you just feel like you're finished. And that was the sort of the point about it all, because the next day I had decided that I wanted to walk back, because it has about 6 to 7 days before I had to catch a flight to where was I going? Maybe I'll remember. I actually don't remember right now. But anyway, I went out with my backpack, went along the beach at Finesterra, and I could just feel. I laid down for a bit, for 30 minutes, just to feel. And I decided, no way, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna stay in Finesterra. I'm not gonna walk back. It just didn't make any sense. I was at the end of the earth, as it's called, and I just decided to stay. So I spent 5 days just walking around Finesterra, enjoying some food, talking to pilgrims, enjoying the beach, the warm weather, and the area and environment of that place, and a place I really look forward to go back to. So that was an awesome journey, something I wish upon everybody to experience. And yes, that was also this video in this DailyG number 11. Please subscribe, and I will talk about the next step, which is New Zealand, in the next video, and how all of that transpired. So until next time, ciao for now.